3, we're going to start looking at front post treble stitches. Now, if I show you just a small section of the mandala I've already worked here, you will see that each kind of petal or leaf or whatever you want to call it has got, it's kind of outlined with these what appear to be very long stitches. But if, probably can't even tell, but if you look close up, these are multiple stitches and they are trebles made around the front post of stitches from rounds before, which gives it this wonderful kind of continuation, which makes it look like it's one piece all worked kind of in one go. It's really clever, and I'm going to show you how to do that now. Okay, so we're here, we've closed off round 2 and we're ready to move on to round 3. And at the beginning of round 3 I do 2 chain, 1 and 2, and I'm now going to start this front post treble stitch. So it's going to be worked in completely the same way as a normal treble, UK terminology, don't forget, which means I need to start with my yarn around my hook. But then all that's different is the placement of the hook. So ordinarily you might go kind of through, say, this stitch, for example, and make your treble that way. How you're going to do a front post treble is you're going to work it around the post of a stitch. Okay, and this is an important note. When we start round 3, we're going to be working it around the post of the beginning chain from the round before. All right, so if I sort of single that out like that, you can see it here very clearly. That's our post that we're going to be working around. I've got my yarn around my hook. I'm going to put my hook to the side of that post and then bring it round so you can see the post is sitting over the front of the hook and the hook is behind and around the post. You can see that if I turn it that way on. Okay, and from this point on it's really straightforward because it's exactly how you'd normally complete a treble. All right, so I've pulled through the yarn. I'm going to pick up and go through 2 and pick up and go through 2. And you have now completed one front post treble. And if you look at it, you will see it kind of makes it appear as though that stitch continues upward. Okay, so our pattern calls for having 2 around the same stitch. So we're going to do that again, same way before. So my yarn is around my hook goes behind the post of that stitch, and I complete the treble in the normal way. Now it does sort of twist it a little bit, but don't worry, as you work around that will even out, and you don't need to give that a thought at all, really. So that's our first little part done. We're then going to make 1 chain and we're going to skip a treble, so we're not going to do anything with this middle post of our group of 3, nothing there at all, and we're going to do 2 front post treble around the next one in that little group of 3. Okay, so for each group of 3 we're going to ignore the middle and we're going to just work with either side. All right, so same again, yarn around the hook, and this time this is the treble I'm working around, this one here. So my hook goes from front to back and then from back to front, so it sits across the front of the hook. You can see the hook going nicely behind the post there, and completing the treble in the same way. So one more time, yarn around the hook, hook behind the post, and off we go. Okay, and to finish our repeat, we're just going to work 2 chain. All right, so let's just stop and have a little look at that. We've got 2 front post trebles around the first of the little cluster from the previous round. We've skipped the middle one and we've done 2 front post trebles around the other one. So that's all I'm going to do. 2 front post treble, 1 chain, 2 front post treble, 2 chain, all the way around, and I'll see you at the end. Okay, I'm just coming up to the last set of 2 front post trebles from round 3. There they are. So you can see all the way around this sort of lovely texture that's being created here. Finishing that repeat with 2 chain, beg your pardon, and I'm going to close it with that little, bringing the loop through from the back to the front. So took the hook out of the work, put it through from the back of the work to the front, picked up the loop again and brought it through. All right, so now the yarn is sitting at the back, ready to go, and it's sort of closed nice and neatly. So yeah, you can see the effect the front post trebles are having, and it's kind of raising the work up. If I turn it on the side, and it pushes this like little ridge out along the back. Okay, and what we've just made is the base of the petals. We've just done this bit here. So as you can see, the petal's going to start to open out now as we work around. So that was round 3. Let's move on to round 4.